What's going on? Welcome to Totally Blitz Podcast. Today we talking UFC 287, aka UFC Miami, Piera versus Adesanya 2. And as always, go down, like and subscribe to the channel. Drop your comments of your picks on the card, your bets of the night, and whatever the fuck else you want it to be. I'm Paul Pickle Winham Contra, and I'm joined with.
Hey man, you already know how to flip the camera on your stupid ass. This is your boy Kev, Waterboy Savoy, aka the Dom Pye, aka the motherfucker that's pulling up to the city of Miami. You feel me? Because we finna be going to this UV. Hey, UFC 287, man. If you're not there, you're a fucking square. Because it's about to be a movie, man.
Man, we'll be there live in the flesh. Both of our first UFC card, both in our hometown. Oh, not both hometown, but our city of residence. We like to be sometimes.
I done got bitches out there. You can call it a place of home if you done got bitches out there.
Kev second hole. But man, and then the rematch that a lot of people been waiting for, and it's like Pierre, the story between him and Adesanya, like the fact they really dug him out of nowhere. No one knew who this guy was for a while. The next thing you know, like UFC went out and found him to challenge Izzy, and now he beat Izzy with the knockout. Yeah, I mean, you got fucking Burns, Masvidal, co-main event, Font, Yanez, Holland, Prozimbo, Robert Rose. Like, this card's super stacked with fucking UFC stardom and talent, like names that everyone should know by now.
Like I said, man, if you're not there, you're a fucking square. Hey, man, I'm not. If you haven't noticed, I'm slightly excited about this. This is probably gonna. This is. I'm gonna save it for the vlogs and the documentaries and the back scenes to know why the fact that we're going to this card is fucking amazing. And the things that happened behind the scenes make us that we had to really make sure we went to this card. So it wasn't easy. But these motherfuckers, Paul, we started the podcast on it. We started on a Masvidal versus Covington fight. Facts. But Izzy versus Whitaker was my first card. Well, technically second, but that's what really put me into like, let's really get this. And now you're telling me I got to see that nigga fight 3 times that year, and I get to see his first fight this year. Come on, man. It don't get no better than that. In Miami. It's don't get no better than that, Paul. We're blessed.
Yeah, no, I mean, fucking, this is a great week of just boxing, UFC, this combat sports as a whole. We're getting real blessed this week. It's nothing special. You don't see something like this often. And we'll be there live in person, which is the best of all. And I'm gonna ask you, where do you want to start with this card? Like, this is a big ass card. There's a lot of names, star power. Like,
I mean, not Michelle Watterson.
Did you want to pick your fight of the night?
Let me see who I got as fight of the night. If Gasman wasn't so old, I think him as Chris Curtis would be a banger. Let me see who I got for fight of the night.
I'm a split between two. I really think Rob Font versus Adrian Yanez could be a great like boxing exposition. Like, both are gonna throw the combos, fast hands. Font's a little older. Is he gonna be able to keep up with Yanez? But like, you can't ever count out Font. Like, this is gonna be a great test for Yanez. But then Kevin Holland versus Sergio Porzimbo keeps looking at me, and Kevin Holland is a fucking showman. So like, I can never count out Kevin Holland to get the performance of the night bonus, especially against another striker, which it could be a back and forth 3 round of striking exposition as well.
It's crazy because I'm looking at these prelims like, damn, niggas finna get there early. Might spend my entire day getting drunk. But if we were to start somewhere, I just say fucking and start. I just say fucking and start from the bottom and go to the top. Like, motherfucking, we want to start with the Vanilla Gorilla.
Vanilla Grow, I mean, that one also has a little spice to it because it's a late fill-in. Our boy Chris Barnett was supposed to be there. Biggie Boy himself supposed to be there, but he couldn't make weight. He had some injury or something, so he was unable to do anything. So now Chase Sherman's going to fight Carl Williams, who and he's like a minus 500 favorite now. He's like a massive favorite. So like everyone's counting on like Carl Williams to get the dub. Like Chase Sherman's like 1-4 in his last five. So Carl Williams 8-1. He's kind of dominated since he became like he moved over to heavyweight. He was light heavyweight. He's transitioned into heavyweight.
Let's see, man. I mean, I like the Vanilla Gorilla. He's doing his thing, but Charles Williams is low key 8-1 though. Like I don't know, bro. Is he somebody not to have been slept on?
No, his wrestling is one thing. Like heavyweight, if you can wrestle, you can probably beat a lot of guys at this point because there's not a lot of like good to great wrestlers in like the lower rankings, and that's why I think Williams has transitioned into heavyweights because now that he knows how to wrestle real good and he can move into heavyweight when there's not many great wrestlers, he's gonna probably rise up the ranks. I don't think he's ever gonna fight for a title or anything, but I think he's gonna rise up the ranks and become like a heavyweight staple.
Nice, nice, nice. I'm fucking with it. And that's just the start the prelims, man. What else? What are we talking next?
Joe Pfeiffer versus Gerard Meerschaert. This one's interesting because Pfeiffer is 10-2. He's on a little win streak. He's looked nice, but Meerschaert's on like I think he's everyone remembers him because Hamzat Chimaev got the KO on his first punch against him. But other than that, like he's 4-1 in his last five. And the four wins, all four are submission. So like his BJJ is legit. If he can take it to the ground, he can grapple with anybody. Pfeiffer can wrestle. He's got good hands. Meerschaert, one thing he can't do is really fight. Like he can strike, is not with the best of them. So it's gonna be a fun fight to see like who's gonna win. Is it gonna be Pfeiffer striking or is it gonna be Meerschaert's BJJ? Like it can either go one of either way. So like who's gonna get the better of each?
Okay, 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 okay. Hmm.
I Meerschaert though,
That
uh,
boy Piper kind of young. I don't know.
no,
Might,
Piper is legit, but I kind of fight. I kind of fuck with Meerschaert because like he be getting the submission, like the BJJ skill. I always respect somebody who's just insanely nasty at BJJ, and like
I
Meerschaert
don't
is
know.
crazy.
My dog Piper got the 100% takedown accuracy. I'm just saying numbers do lie. I'm just saying, man. I don't know. Piper looking like he do.
He does. I would say his wrestling is good. I just don't think he's gonna want to wrestle with Meerschaert because all it takes is one reversal
Facts.
or even off your
Armbar,
back.
armbar, guillotine immediately.
Yeah, so I think Piper probably has more ways of winning, but I'm gonna ride with Meerschaert by submission. Like that's the one thing if I think that's the one thing he got to win it. Then what was the next on this card? Oh, Karate Hottie Michelle Watterson Gomez. She's an underdog against Luana Piero, and I mean Piero has been. There's a reason why she's a favorite against like a fan favorite like Karate Hottie. Like Piero has been on a fucking wrecking crew. Like she's got multiple knockouts, submissions. She's coming off she got like five straight first round finishes, and then she got a decision in her last fight. But four straight this first round finishes. She like dominated on her way up. So I'm rocking with her. She seems to be the truth right now. And Gomez is just old, and a lot of people liked her, but I just never thought she was a legit contender like that. She's fun to watch because she throws high kicks and she's karate based and everything. But that show only takes you so far. And like Pierno seems like she's someone to be kind of like, oh shit, like let's pay attention to her.
I feel like there was a point in time where Watterson was ranked in like the top at least 7, if not 5. What's she ranked right now? It doesn't even tell you.
Yeah, strawweight. She's in the strawweight, which is like low key, like probably the most, not even low key. It's the most stacked division, women's division, probably.
Oh no, she's lost. She's lost 4 of her
Yeah,
last.
people love to throw like think she like all she got. She doesn't have the power to hold people off. All she got is some like nice kicks, some leg kicks, body kicks, and can throw volume. But unless you can throw volume that can hurt somebody, it's not going to keep somebody like Pierno off of her. And I think Pierno's just going to like blitz her ass.
That's who whooped her ass. Amanda Lemos. Bruh, I thought, being an MMA casual, I thought motherfucker anybody that comes on DC and RC, they were hitters. Like, they were like known hitters. Like, Jamal Hill came on DC and RC like 8 months ago type shit. Like nobody knew he was gonna be champion, but they just can sniff out the hitters. You feel me? Man, they have Michelle Watterson out there. So I'm thinking, oh, Karate Hottie, oh, she finna fuck her up. Man, Limos put that thing on them, boy. There's no way I can go against. I couldn't go with Pinheiro or Pinheiro.
Yeah, it's a tough last name. But I'm definitely rocking with the favorite in that fight. I think and Gomez is like 37. Like there's not much you can really do anymore at that age. Next fight, this is when I think things start getting really exciting here. This is when it starts cranking up some in the kitchen. You got Chris Curtis versus Kelvin Gastelum. Chris Curtis, slight underdog. Kelvin Gastelum, slight favorite to pick him in the odds, basically. And Gastelum's like 1-4 in his last five. He's been getting cooked lately. And Chris Curtis, I know he's coming. He lost to Jacker Manson, but yeah, he's coming off the knockout win against Joaquin Buckley.
He did knock out Joaquin Bucker. That shit hurt.
Hey, but it was a good fight in that first round.
Yeah, it was a great fight in the start.
And Kelvin Gastelum's his one win is against Heinrich, but his losses are to Darren Till by split decision, submitted by Jacker Manson, who did get the unanimous decision over Chris Curtis, unanimous decision to Whitaker, unanimous decision to Cannonier. Like that's a tough resume to feed somebody.
You talking about Chris Curtis?
No, Gastelum, Cannonier,
Oh,
Whitaker, Hermanson, Till.
yeah, that is a nice ass little record though.
Yeah, I can understand losing all those fighters. Like all of them were at one point elite or are elite.
Damn, that's facts. Damn, but they're a lot in a row, Paul. Like my boy has a strong
Yeah,
record.
it just happened to be he went down death row.
Yeah, I don't even know how you got that Whitaker fight. That shit's crazy. Oh, he won one. That's why. Oh wow. Yeah, he's ooh.
That's what I'm
How do you
saying.
like
He had that Israel Adesanya win, and then his career kind of that's where it peaked.
wow. So how do you see this going? Because Chris Curtis is a big dude.
And Chris Curtis is pissed off, bro, because he was supposed to be fighting somebody. He wants to be fighting on the main card because he was fighting on the main card in UFC London, but now in his home country he's not fighting on the main card. But Raul, a little 18-year-old Raul is. He's kind of pissed off about that, and he's pissed off because Gastelum was ranked above him, and he thought he was gonna be fighting to move up in rank. New rankings came out. Gastelum was ranked below him, and he has nothing to gain with this win. And his last couple of fights, he's been fighting people below him, so he deserved to fight someone on top to move up. So he's become so he has some agenda right now. So I fuck with Chris Curtis, but everything in my gut is telling me to take Gastelum. Like I think Gastelum's gonna do one thing that Chris Curtis can't stop is someone who can wrestle, and Gastelum can wrestle. So that's my one key to victory for Gastelum was just to out wrestle Chris Curtis for 3 rounds.
I like it, man. I mean, I just think when it comes to Chris Curtis, he's real. Like you said, he's pissed off and he's really about to put in some motherfucking work. But it's funny to me that Gaston was the younger dude because I feel like his career, maybe it's because of the wars he's been through, but you might think that his shit's kind of been going down a little more than Curtis. Even though Gaston only hitters, but it's like, jeez, these are a lot of these losses in a row, man. I think I'm gonna take Chris Curtis on this. I'm gonna trust my gut. For some reason, Chris Curtis is telling me that the bigger guy's gonna win, so I'm gonna rock with him, even though he's bigger and older.
And then on the opposite spectrum, we've got two young guys on the main card to start it off. Raul Rosas Jr., second fight in the UFC, 7-0. He's a pretty big favorite against Christian Rodriguez, 8-1, another prospect, plus 190. Let me hear you take this fight first. It's the first fight in the prelims.
Bro, come on, man. It's the youngest mother trucker in the game. That boy Raul Rojas Jr., kid. So my dog bought his mom the minivan. I don't know why they didn't put that bitch in the motherfucking countdown. Dana White glass. But this is where I'm always excited to see my boy fight because he's only gonna get better each fight. And like his last outing was nice. He beat who did he beat? My boy beat I don't even know, but Jay Perrin. What
Yeah,
card was that?
this is an introduction fight to the UFC.
Mm-hmm. So that was UFC 282. Oh, he was one of the fucking good things about that card.
Yeah, and Perrin actually, I think he said that was his last fight if he loses. So I'm not sure if he actually did retire, but he said if he loses to a newcomer, he's retiring. But he wasn't no one to really like pay attention to anyway. But
Um,
Christopher Rodriguez, I think he's heavily slept on because he trains. I want to say with like Poirier. He trains with a couple killers. I can't remember who it is, but he trains with a couple. Everyone's been high on him since he's been like 14 years old. Now he's like 19 years old. He's finally in the UFC. He's 8-1 coming off the Contender Series. He's like the first person Raul fought was a massive underdog. I think the odds are trying to show him a little respect by making him a moderate underdog at plus 190. But I love the value pick at 190. Like I'm taking C Rod. I love Christian Rodriguez in this fight. Like Raul can be the truth, but sometimes those super hype trains get rushed a little too quickly. He's still so young. I know so is C Rod, but like I think this fight's a lot closer than people think. So just give me the value pick at plus 190.
think so. I like it, man. Really, really.
I really do, bro.
I'm trusting my dog Raul Rojas Jr. Just because like that sub he got was nasty, and he's shown nothing but promise. He's young. He's gonna get better. I'm taking him. I'm not gonna lie to you. I got to take my boy.
Yeah,
How it go, Paul? Viva Mexico.
he is Mexican. I give him that. I
So,
want to root for him,
so
but
how do you think Chris Rodriguez beats Raul?
he's just a good mixed martial artist. He's been training forever as well, and I like he can wrestle. He has great takedown defense. He can strike. Like I think he just has a really good combination of skills that like Raul, I'm not. He's just young and everything's. I won't say come easy so far, but he's kind of steamrolled his way in, and this is actually like a legit fighter that he's fighting in front of him. Like this isn't someone that the UFC just propped in front of him for him to steamroll. This is going to be like a test of skill, and I think C. Ross is being overlooked right now.
Damn. Okay, we gonna see what happens. Is there a finish?
This could I no, I mean there might be a finish, but I could see this turn into a decision. But real close. I think it's gonna be like a 29-28 fight and split decision going to C Rod, but like a real close fight.
I could take it 29-28 going to my boy Raul.
And then our next fight, our one of our fan favorites, especially here at the podcast, one of our guys, Kevin Holland, pretty big favorite, taking on Santiago Prozanibo, plus 210 on Prozanibo odds. Holland minus 260. Holland's coming back after the broken hand he suffered against Wonderboy Thompson at UFC Orlando last year. He says he's good to go. He's ready to avenge that loss. Zimbo, a very great striker. He had a good hype towards him 2 years ago or so. Kind of died down after a few losses, but this was my pick for Friday night when we opened the episode, just because they both like to strike and they they both excel at it. So I think it's gonna be a fun little fight.
But this fight, man, I'm still kind of mad about the Kevin Holland Wonderboy fight because I think Wonderboy fought a great fucking fight. But if Kevin Holland took that a little more serious and didn't break his hand, I don't know. But I feel like this is Kevin Holland's way to come out, show out he's still a motherfucking boss. He had so much hype around him last year. If he had won that fight against Wonderboy, he really would have put himself in a good position. And I think he wants to bring that same energy back. He's gonna come through. He's gonna mix it up. He does have his BJJ in his back pocket. Some motherfucking I don't know. If he doesn't just sit there and try to strike for Ponzinibbio, this shit really goes in my boy favor.
Yeah, I'm gonna just run through. Ponzinibbio has been in the UFC since 2013. 2015, he beat Sean Strickland. Then he went on like a nice little 8 fight win streak in the UFC, and on the win streak he beat Mike Perry, Neil Magny, and Gunnar Nelson. And
Wow.
so like, and his losses, most of his losses come recently. One was a knockout to our boy Lee Joing, who isn't gonna be on the card. Michael Chiesa, and his fight got canceled unfortunately. Lee Joing got a spine injury. Chiesa wouldn't take the Kevin Lee pickup fight, and he couldn't find an opponent quick enough, so they just took Michael Chiesa off the card altogether. A little side note on this little tangent, but then Then he also lost to Geoff Neal by split decision and Mikael Piera by split decision. So I mean, always fights competitive fights. Other than the knockout he received to Lee Juing, but he also is probably one of the heaviest hitters at welterweight. They say. I think he can take the strikes with Kevin Holland, and he probably is going to get tagged up with a lot of volume by Holland. But I think he's going to land a few shots that kind of make Holland think for a second, and then we might see a little wrestling out of Holland to finish some rounds. So I'm gonna go with Holland, but this will be another one I'm thinking like split decision. I don't think it's gonna. I think it's gonna be real close, especially with the power that Ponzinibbio has.
I'm glad you got my boy. We got my boy Big Mouth.
Yeah, Big Mom, he's Batman, bro. He can never go against Batman.
Black man.
And then my other fight that I thought maybe could win co-main event, Rob Font, not co-main, Friday night was Rob Font versus Adrian Yanez. Another fight that's gonna be this boxing like this master class performances on either side. There's gonna be
I
some.
can tell what part. I can tell what part of the cards you're gonna be drunk as fuck by. The second that Kevin Holland comes out, that's when the cups start finishing.
Oh yeah, and from Font Yanez, I'm gonna be toasted too, bro. These are gonna be some high level fights right here. This is gonna be like back to back fight of the night opportunities right here. I think.
Oh, it's gonna be a fucking movie.
Dana White, I think, is gonna be paying out a lot of money for Friday the night bonuses for people after Saturday.
They bet everybody just needed to play their part and do their thing, man. They set them up to fucking kill this shit, and this is gonna probably be one of the best cards of the year. I feel like every card so far has been missing something. Jamal Hill versus Glover Teixeira, it was cool, but it was missing something. Like Brandon Moreno and Figgy didn't really end the way we wanted, but it was missing something. Motherfucking Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman. It was cool. It was nice. We talked about it, but missing something.
Cheeto John Jones, Hagen, that was
It was missing something. I think this card is that something.
Yeah, this is definitely on papers. It could be a legendary night, and people, young stars like Giannis being put into like third fight right here. Like this is when people like him could make a fucking name for themselves. Like Kevin Holland. Like yeah, people know who he is, but like this is a card that a lot of people are probably gonna be buying.
Bro, I've literally rewatched motherfucking Alex's after Alex beats Izzy the first time, his reaction when his arm goes, this boy was surprised. That boy ain't see that coming. But Giannis versus Font. Ooh, I haven't seen who y'all Font fight last. Cause I remember he was piecing up Cheeto, and I thought I was crazy for saying that his last fight was against Cheeto.
Yeah, and he lost to Aldo too. But it's like two back-to-back losses, I believe.
I can see why y'all just picked this for fight of the night. Two strikers going hand. Who am I taking, Rob Font or Giannis?
Yeah, Rob Font got the win over Garbrandt, Marlon Morales, Ricky Simon, Sergio Pettis, and then he just happened to run into Jose Aldo and Cheeto Vera back to back. Giannis, his last fight, Tony Kelly. Tony Kelly was a fighter off the Contender Series, I believe, or Tough or something, but he was racist. He said some racist shit, and then Giannis went out there and beat the brakes off him. Got one of the nastiest KOs, one of the most crisp boxing, also himself. So like, both are men of the people.
That's funny as fuck, but motherfucking
4 of his last 5 fights, all KOs too.
This win will look really good on his resume if he can put Rob Font on his resume to really solidify like, yo, I'm really moving up in the ranks. But ooh, it's hard to pick against Rob Font or because this is third one. If he loses another one, that boy, I don't know what that boy's doing.
I got Giannis here. I'm a big Giannis fan, especially since he beat Tony Kelly's ass. But I like him by KO. I think Font's chin, especially after the Vera expedition, like I think his chin's gonna be on chin watch this weekend with Giannis and his crisp ass boxing. I like the KO here.
Yeah, I respect it, man. I think I could take a KO. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna rock with I'm gonna rock with Positivio, but I really think Rob Font will come in here and try to piece some shit up.
And then on to our last two fights, co-main event: Gilbert Burns, massive favorite, minus 500 versus Jorge Masvidal, plus 380. Street Judas, as some people call him. But
I say, who came up with that name? I can't tell if they compliment that nigga or not.
but Gilbert Burns, big, that's our guy. But I mean, enough said. I don't think we. I'm a super anti Jorge Masvidal guy. If you didn't know, I think his career is more of a journeyman than real title guy. He had a couple good wins, but kind of he was never really that guy. He just had a big stardom, get the title shots. Fucking Gilbert Burns is the opposite of that. If you didn't watch UFC, you might not even know who the fuck Gilbert. Like if you're not a big MMA person, if you're just a casual guy, you might not even know who Gilbert Burns is. But fucking BJJ, world tier level BJJ, 101 in the UFC type shit, and great hands. Fucking got power. Isn't scared of nobody. This is like all around great dude that isn't scared of a fucking fight. I love Gilbert Burns, and this is the fight I'll be waiting for. This isn't my fight
But
to pick, but this is the fight I'm waiting for right here.
but and this is probably my pick for nah. I don't know if Masvidal gonna last long enough to make this. I feel like Gilbert Burns is gonna get a performance bonus tonight. I'll say it on Saturday. But this is that fight where I'd be like, how could it go anyway? Because first off, Gilbert Burns, that's my dog. I feel like he's every promoter's best friend. Like imagine every time you call somebody, hey, Gilbert, I was thinking about anybody. Oh, okay. Hey, Gilbert, we're thinking about setting anybody. Brett Altern, he didn't have to take that fight against Hazmat. And they say it a lot, but like Brett really began out there with anybody, anytime, no matter what. And he's a fucking savage. Like, besides for like two or three people, there's nobody that can really sit down and say they were able to deal with what the fuck Gilbert Burns can do. And that comes from training in the camp with people like Rashad Evans and motherfucking all the Black Zillions, Kamaru Usman was in that motherfucker. Like, they had all types of hitters in their camp.
Yeah, and that boy Jorge said if he loses here, he's probably gonna retire. And I mean, I think the writing's on the wall for him to retire. He's trying to get his own brand out with Game Bread, the fighting promotions, and he's going to try to probably focus on that and stuff. And I mean, he's not going to be winning many fights, especially. I mean, he can win fights. It's not against a top tier elite talent in the UFC anymore. He can fight those lower tier guys. Yeah, I can definitely see him taking the L here and then retiring in Miami, putting the
No,
glove.
that'd be fine.
Yeah,
But
I'm seeing it now.
my question is the hate that comes from Masvidal. Like, I understand he probably didn't do what a lot of other people have done to get title shots, but didn't he pick up that fight last minute though?
No, he did. It's just that now he's talking about the Leon Edwards rematch. Well, this is before this happened, but like the Leon Edwards rematch when Leon Edwards was champion, that had re-sparked the hate for people that had for him. And then like him punching Kobe Covington a lot, really split the community a lot for the Jorge fans. Apparently, like there was a lot of fans that weren't fans anymore of his. So he started losing a lot of fans like slowly, like not slowly, but like over time, more and more turned on him. But at one point, he was like the superstar, shining star. Like, oh, maybe the next Connor, like, oh, Connor Jorge fight, maybe.
That'd actually be crazy. And it'd be
The
bad because he
BMF
didn't
at
lose.
one point, and then he won the BMF on some hoe shit. So like that also didn't help.
Wait, it wasn't a good judging.
No, it was like a no contest because Nate Diaz got like something happened. I can't remember. I just remember it was some doctor stoppage in the third round. So yeah, like the doctors had to stop the fight because of some cut on Nate Diaz's face or something. So like the baddest motherfucker title got like decided on the doctor coming in and stopping the fight, saying these two can't fight anymore.
See, that's the stuff they don't put in the highlight reels. I've seen The Rock put that bet on a motherfucker at least 100 times, but nobody ever brought up that part.
Yeah,
So
so
I
it was
understand.
always that like that no one really it was just like, come on, man, these supposed to be the baddest motherfuckers.
Okay, I understand now. So motherfucking, I I understand completely.
But anyway, that's near here or there. It's just like we're gonna watch Burns versus Masvidal. I'm picking Burns. I'm taking Burns by submission. I'm taking like a second round submission. I'm feeling. I think Jorge might be able to fend it off the first round, but second round is over for his ass.
Hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. But oh man, UFC Miami, Paul. Imagine we almost on the last fight. After this, time to go pack and get right. Enjoy the weekend. Breathe it in. Somebody's gonna get their butt kicked. What is you most excited for when it comes to going to the card?
It's gonna be that Burns fight. I'm telling you, I can't wait to see Burns fight in person. He's been like him, Ortega. Like those are some of the fighters that I genuinely like enjoyed a lot.
That's fire as fuck, man.
Because I'm like, of course, I want to see the Izzy Pierre fight, but it's like Burns is probably my favorite fighter on this card. Not probably, he is my favorite fighter on the card.
Yeah, man, motherfucking. I'm looking for. I want to say I'm looking most forward to motherfucking Izzy versus Alex, but either way, I feel like that's a win-win for me. I'm genuinely, truly want to be in the crowd with a bunch of degenerate MMA fans screaming to the top of our lungs and going fucking insane. Like, I pray that this crowd is so lit. It's been 20 years since the UFC's been back in Miami, like 2003. But I go to school, motherfuckers that were born in 2004. Like, this shit is crazy. So I'm praying that this shit goes insane.
I know it definitely should be. I mean, the tickets almost all sold out. I'm pretty sure. Like, it's definitely gonna be another sold out event by Dana White.
First thing he gonna say when you get to that podium, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, it was true.
Yeah, that bid was filled. This main event, though, the one you just talked about, the one you most excited for. Like, I'm gonna break it down to odds real quick, and I'm gonna pass it to you. We got Alex Pereira, champion, going up against Israel Adesanya, challenger. Odds maker got Pereira plus 120, slight underdog, to Israel Adesanya, slight favorite at minus 140. Even though he's never beaten Pereira, 0-3 against the man. All I'm saying, Kev. Let me hear what you guys think.
Man, fuck all y'all, man. I've been dealing with these motherfuckers. Nah, Alex finna do this to Izzy. Izzy finna go down. No more Izzy. And they made the best point in the Twitter spaces, the Fights at the Round Table by Bourbon and Bud podcast. Make sure you check them boys out, Bourbon and Bud MMA. But them boys really made the best thing when Lawyer was like, see, man, all the motherfucking Alex fans are really old Cannoneer friends who are really Rob fans. We just hate the fact that motherfucking Izzy he still got this motherfucking title. And he don't got it no more. But it's all it is, man. And fuck all y'all. Because Izzy finna come through, finna do his thing. He's finna learn from his mistakes. And he's gonna watch for that motherfucking left hook.
I want to root for Alex so bad because I definitely rooted for him so heavily the first time, and he won it. But I can't sit here and act like I was blinded that the fact that like Israel was winning that fight for the majority, like heavily up until that last couple moments. If that would have went another couple minutes and went straight to the judges, Israel Adesanya would have been still the world champion. And I'm just taking the fact that I think this time around he's not gonna get caught with one of them left hooks, and he's just gonna dominate again for the next five, like for another 3 to 4 rounds. And
I think there's one thing that there's a crazy hole, not a hole, but I'm pretty sure they both seen it. But one thing that, oh my goodness, he beat the fuck out of that boy in the kickboxing matches. Yeah, one thing he was really, really good at is checking motherfucking distance with his gloves. But Alex wasn't letting him do that. And that's something you can only get through fighting somebody so many times. So by not really giving up his distance and really continuing to push forward, that's where things get interesting. Because I think he's gonna come. Like every last round he fights Izzy, he always goes crazy. He turns it up a new gear, turns it up another level. But motherfucking when he seems like he's gonna feel like he can take Izzy punches. I feel like in late rounds he's gonna keep moving forward like he did in the first fight, and that's gonna be where the pressure's at. Because Izzy's talking about the pressure's on him. Now the pressure's gonna be on you when this motherfucker pulls his best Korean zombie and only moves forward. So if Izzy has the motherfucking composure to stay on the outside, don't get caught on the cage, motherfucking keep working the jab while he's coming up, he can really fuck him up.
Yeah, no, Proton's got the size, he got the power, Izzy's got the speed. It's just all if Izzy cannot get caught this time, and maybe Alex gets a little bit better gas tank because there's definitely some moments in rounds where he was looking a little bit more tired. He let Izzy take him down for a little bit,
That
and
shit was crazy.
yeah,
He
I know
got
if
to
he
take
was
down.
fresh, that wouldn't happen. If he was fresh, he's getting right back up, and he's big as shit. But that's just him being exhausted.
Yeah, that was low key the round that lost in the fight too. If he didn't win the decision.
So it's gonna be interesting, especially live 5 rounds. You never know what's gonna happen. It really put people into the deep waters, test them. I'm switching my pick. I'm officially going with Israel Adesanya here. I like him to get a 5 round decision win, and I think he's gonna crack Pierre a couple of times, gonna not knock him down, but wobble his ass a few times. And Pierre's gonna probably wobble him a couple times. This is gonna be a good old fashioned barn burn. I think it's gonna be a back and forth little thing. I think Israel overall is gonna win it concisively, but there's gonna be moments, flashes with Pierre. You're like, oh shit, the Pierre got him here. But Israel overall is gonna win.
I think one thing that's gonna happen is that this motherfucker Alex trains with Glover. So like they in that bitch talking takedowns. They in that bitch talking takedowns and getting down, especially since it worked in the first fight. And I think they're gonna overlook Izzy's takedown defense. Like he doesn't really get taken down like that ever since the Yon fight. And I feel like if Alex goes in against takedowns, that's one gonna kill your motherfucking energy because Masvidal said it best. If you weren't born into that wrestling shit, that just going out there willy nilly will really fuck with your cardio. And then, god damn, this man Izzy died. So motherfucking the takedown defense is fucking crazy for Izzy. So I feel like if Alex really goes in there trying to take a motherfucking get a takedown, that's when shit gets very fucking interesting. Because it's like if he thinks that he got it and Izzy really comes out not giving him shit because he knows there's a threat for it now, that's when I feel like he can really start losing rounds. And if he goes back into the fifth round down 3-1, there's no, I don't like Izzy to get knocked out again. Watch for that fucking left hook.
Yeah, and it's like you gotta watch for the left hook in particular. I know he's got dynamite in both hands and legs, but it's just like Izzy took the clean shots before of the other hands. It's just that left hook in particular he has to watch out for. And as long as he's watching out for that in the fifth round up 3-1, like I said, I agree with you. That's gonna be where that's why I like Israel in the decision this time.
How crazy do you think the crowd goes if Izzy gets a UD on their ass?
When anytime crowds go crazy anytime you hear and new or and still, like when you have to wait for that decision to come out, crowds always go crazy, especially if it's a close fight.
Damn right. Is it just me or you hoping that the refs fuck some shit up just so you can be like, man, I was there when they fucking fucked up, blah, blah, blah. That was
I would be
bullshit.
so happy if like we both were sitting there like, damn, Izzy won that fight, and then all of a sudden they say and still champion. I would like, I won't be mad. I will not be mad at all because I am a Rob fan who is once a Canadier fan.
Really a Gaston fan.
I was a Gaston fan at first, but my boy did the job.
But motherfucking, this card's about to be insane. I'm praying that some crazy shit goes down. Oh man, I thank God for making this shit happen. We gonna make sure we get all the footage for you, man. It's about to be a great time. And fuck having to work because these motherfuckers is working the fuck out of me.
Yeah, man. But we broke down all of UFC 287, aka UFC Miami, Piera versus Adesanya 2, Burns versus Masvidal, Yanez versus Font, Holland versus Ponzinibbio, Raul Rosas Jr. versus Kristen Rodriguez, Chris Curtis versus Kevin Gastelum. Like we could go on and on. This card is super stacked. We gave you all our picks. We broke down all the fights. And as always, this has been Paul Pick'em Winham Contra. I was joined with Kev, Waterboy, Street Fight Enthusiast, Savoy. And if y'all didn't know, well, now y'all know, motherfuckers.
Measurements, plug here, let them in. Passing out the medicines. We've been on that rock star regimen, knowing that I'm